So our next lesson on the sociology of inequality is about disability and inequality. Right, let's start off. The medical model. Model means a way of thinking about things in this sense. For most of history, disabled people have been thought of using what is now called the medical model. It's a medical problem for them. But people feel pity for them. Isn't it a shame? Doctors can try and help them through medicines or through surgery. It is the individual's responsibility to help themselves. It's not the school's fault there's no ramp, or the cinema, or the shops. It is the responsibility of the disabled person to make the best of their lives. Now, a little while ago, some scientist called Mike Oliver came up with what's called the social model, which is more widely used today, particularly by disabled people. In the social model, the social way of thinking about things, the disabled person is not the problem. Society is the problem for not sorting things out, not building, not designing things in order to let disabled people take part. Lots of examples of this. The easiest way to get your head around it is to just imagine somebody who's wheelchair bound. Yeah. There's no need to build a building with stairs. You can build it with ramps. You can have buttons so they can open it. You don't need to put barriers in their way. You can design society in such a way as to help disabled people have their independence. So in the social model, society is at fault for the discrimination disabled people suffer, not disabled people. It's society, the culture's job to fix it. Lots of research has been done also on the discrimination and the prejudice against disabled people. This has gone back a long time. The Shakespeare play, Richard III, he's the evil character. He's got crutches, he's got a hunchback. That made him evil. In the past, particularly the Christian church, viewed people who were disabled as somehow it was a punishment from God. They must have done something wrong. There's something wrong with them. They're malevolent. Yeah. There's been a lot of progress in this in the last few years. You have disabled people appearing on TV. He's a weather presenter. You have the massive success of the Paralympics. And then this is, again, I think part of the progress of the social model. Status. In our culture, disabled people tend to have low status. This is partly due to the mass media as well. The idea that many people who are disabled are somehow faking it. Yeah, they're not really disabled. They're scroungers. People doubt them, which in turn leads to what we call disability hate crimes, which are way more common than you think they are. And just people being abused for being disabled, often because people don't believe they really are disabled. Unemployment. Disabled people are more likely to be unemployed. Yeah? If they are employed, they're paid less. Disabled men have an 11% paid 11% less than able-bodied men. Disabled women, 22% less. It's called the disability pay gap. Largely, because often they can't get work. And again, if you look at the social model, the reason this person can't get this job is because there's a step. So they can't get in. Now, the Marxist view of this is, of course, that disabled people are seen as useless because to a capitalist, they are useless. They are less useful. They can't do the jobs that capitalism needs. So to a Marxist, it's not a surprise. And finally, the idea of social exclusion. Disability often leads to social exclusion. It means disabled people can't take part in many of the things everybody else can just do normally, going into certain places. Again, disabled people in wheelchairs are the easiest example of this. If there's a flight of stairs, they can't go upstairs. This is a polling station to vote in an election. A disabled person can't vote here because they can't get into that narrow door up those steps. That is called social exclusion. They're kept out of certain parts of society.